food markets only.
Meet Susie Smart, she is so bright. On her blackboard you can write. She has a desk, she has a seat. What's your name, my darling sweet?
My name is Susie Smart.
She can talk!
She can talk, but can she add?
2 plus 2 is 4. Cat, C-A-T.
You can spell!
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how
You recite!
Press the button, she says a dozen things, complete with desk, blackboard, and seat. Susie Smart, sold at food markets only.
What's this stuff? Some cereal. It's supposed to be good for you. Did you try it? I'm not going to try it. You try it. I'm not going to try it. Let's get Mikey. Yeah. He won't eat it. He hates everything. He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
Well, what's on the television then? Looks like a penguin.
Yeah, but it's not. It's Susie Q96. Masquerading as a penguin. Just kind of stumbling blindly around. Y'all gonna have to excuse me for the beginning of this show. Hey, New Marshall, what's happening? Because I didn't get to eat my dinner. I had a phone call about my car and didn't get to eat, so I had to stick it in the microwave, and now I'm trying to kind of shovel it down. So if you hear a little smack 'em, it's because I'm trying to eat my Angus burger and rice. No cheeseburgers. Don't have any of those today. Cheeseburger. I could have, I guess. I just didn't think about it. Not a bad burger, though. Pepsi. No Coke. Pepsi. Which is really funny. Because I was a Pepsi drinker my whole life. Until they told me that I had to limit my caffeine and sugar and all of that. So now what am I drinking? What do I have? I have one of those little 8-ounce glass bottle Cokes. So I am having a Coke and not a Pepsi. I'm almost done with it. Today I've been working. I was on 3 hours earlier while I sat here going through things on my desk and packing things and throwing things out and packing up the remaining giveaways. Not sure if I've done yours yet, Doug. No, well, yes and no. I've got it in. I just have to make the label. I have 2 or 3 that I have questions about addresses on. I can't find where they confirmed their win, but they're regulars that I have more than one address for. So that's one of the reasons I actually logged on tonight. To see if they come in and I can make sure I am sending to the proper address. Because I really don't want to pack any of these items. I'm afraid they'll get lost. and I'm tardy, so I'm finishing my dinner. Found a bunch of containers with coins sitting on my desk. I don't know exactly what they are, so we're going to be looking at those as I pack things from my desk area. And finish my cheeseburger. I mean, my hamburger. I don't have any cheeseburgers. But anyway, that's the purpose of this. I didn't go get any coins or anything because I'm trying to get a bunch ready, get them rolled up after this stream, and while I still have a vehicle, take them to the bank in the morning. Finally resolved a couple of problems today. Was for some reason, back when I had the problem with somebody messing with my PayPal account, they did a bunch of things, and one of them, while they were trying to figure out who got into my bank account, was they shut off a lot of auto pays and different things. Well, one of the ones they shut off was the GoFundMe account that my friend Q started, because the money was going to me as beneficiary, was going into one of my accounts, and so they stopped the transfers of the donations, and I hadn't really been getting any donations to speak of, so I didn't really notice it. And then I saw no, I can't do that, New Marshall, because there's a couple of valuable coins I can't find that are loose, and I don't want to sell those. Today's funniest joke of the day, we were discussing all the loose coins that are probably under the desk, and I think it was a William E. Made a remark that I better watch out because Sir Benji will probably go metal detecting under my desk when he gets here. And I said, yeah, I'll give him a pinpointer. He can get down there, metal detect under the desk. Yeah, that cracked me up because I can picture that from Randy. I really can. Furry. Y'all bear with me. I got about 4 more bites of my dinner. I was ready to eat and got a phone call about my car that I had to take. And so I didn't get to eat, and I had to stick it in the nucleator and heat it up. So I got a couple more bites to finish up. And but anyway, back to the. I get distracted. Back to the story about GoFundMe, and I'm throwing this out here as a warning to people. If you ever have a problem with them, they do not have a customer service number. They do not have an email on their website. What you got to do is deal with the dumbest bot in the history of the free world. And finally, if you get the message from the bot about 6 times in a row that says it doesn't understand what you want, then it will ask if you want to be contacted by a customer service rep. So you definitely want to say yes to that. And then when you say yes to that, the bot starts asking you questions all over again. And I finally kept messing with it until I finally got a live. Well, I got to a screen where it let you put your name and your email in. And you have to put in your what GoFundMe account it is and how you're related to it. And I mean, it took me 2 days to get a hold of a live person. And what our issue is I wasn't paying much attention to it because nobody has really been making any donations into it since around November. Well, I happened to go there today with the idea of let me check this out, and then we're probably going to close it because even though we didn't reach the goal, I reached the goal other ways. So I get over there, and a friend of mine from back in my high school days, who is a minister, had told me a long time ago that when I got actually ready to go, that they were going to put some more money in the account to make sure I had enough for gas and that kind of thing. And I looked and I realized I never got an email or anything saying that this donation had been made. And I'm like, holy crap, I need to get that money out of there because we're going to need it. And then we couldn't get the money out or get it transferred to the account for the move. Well, I've been fighting with that for 2 days, and I finally got a live person who told me to call my bank and see if it was something on the bank's end. And it kind of turned out that it was partly the bank and partly GoFundMe, but they are releasing my funds tomorrow. Now, what it says on there and what is actually in there are 2 different things, because the way he had set it up before, hey, William E., hi, Leanne, was that once a month, at the first of the month, the money would transfer into the account set up for the move. Well, transferring because they had put that temporary hold on there. And so I told them, look, I would really appreciate if we could get that released before the 1st, because they're trying to get me moved now for the treatment. So it took a while, but I resolved that issue. Now I'm trying to resolve the removal of my dead car, and the original guy that wanted it so bad, he's ghosted me. So I went to, I had like 5 or 6 other people that made everything from really good offers to absolutely ridiculous offers. So I have one that was pretty good, and the lady had offered to help me in the past with something, so I said, okay, they're going to be next on the list. We get all the way down to when can he come over and look at it, and I tell her, and whoop, I'm ghosted. Oh, now my phone's ringing. Let's see who this is. Oh, this might be U-Haul. Let me put you guys on mute for a minute. Yay! Sorry I had to make you guys wait, but that was the big shot from U-Haul, because I had talked to two guys last week, both of whom were supposed to get back with me, and both of them did not, and that was their boss, and they both they both got a butt chewing. But the end result of that, I started out when I first went to reserve the truck, I was supposed to have it for 6 days. Well, because it went past January the 1st, they cut the free days back from 6 days to 4 days. And me being old, Sir Benji not being super healthy, it's going to take 2 days to load the truck. And then if nobody shows up on the other end, and I'm going to strangle half of Michigan, but should that happen, or we get stuck in a storm or whatever, there's 2 more days. Well, they were only giving me 4, and I said no. I said I want my 6, like you offered originally, and I had taken a screenshot of it and everything. And the other thing is they have certain things they have to do because of the Americans with Disabilities Act. And one of those is they are supposed to hook up the car dolly and put the car on it if you are a disabled person. And the young man over here at the local dealer did not want to do that, and because he said it was a liability issue. Well, he's young and he just took the business over from his dad, I guess. But then he tried to charge me $35 to do it, and I'm like, no, you don't understand how Americans with Disability Act works. So I learned that U-Haul does have a division that handles disabled people who need to rent trucks. They will put like hand controls on and different things for disabled people. They run into that a lot with disabled veterans. And so anyway, this was the big boss, and they upgraded my truck to the proper size. I was thinking about doing that, Furry, because I have really been studying that thing for the last year. Learned some real interesting stuff. But anyway, this was like the big supervisor, and what he did was he's going to call over and explain the ADA to this young man, and that he, truthfully, it would be a bigger liability to have a 70-year-old woman and a disabled guy trying to hook this stuff up versus a young, strong, healthy man. They gave me my 26-foot truck. They had tried to knock me back down to a 20, and it wasn't so much that, I could probably fit the stuff in a 20, but I don't know how much a 20-footer would perform going through snow-covered mountains towing a van. So they agreed with me on that they needed the more powerful truck to make sure that, and they didn't charge me any extra. They did the upgrade at no charge. And I got my extra 2 days back. So now I'm back to 6 days instead of 4. So I won the battles, all of them. And so they're going to call me the day before and make certain everything is hunky-dory, and I'm going to get my friend to run me by there the day before and make sure I see all the appropriate equipment. So that's why I was gone, and it took me a while. So today I won the battle with the GoFundMe and recovered that money, and I won the battle with the U-Haul. And so now the only obstacle left is these people with my car. And worst case scenario, I do have the number of a junk dealer, and I told him, I said, well, I had people offer me a little more money than that. I said, but if that falls through, I'll call you and have you come get it. And he said that was fine. So let's see what some of these crazy coins on my desk are these are just things that I set aside for some reason. And I have a small box here that I am packing things that have to do with either my coin show or my detecting show, so that they all stay together. And then I'm going to get another box that I'm not even going to try to sort the drawer out. I'm just going to dump it into a box, a small box, and label it contents of desk drawer. So if it's not in the organized box, it'll be in that one. And that way I won't have things in like 5 or 6 different boxes. I'll be able to locate most of my stuff, which will allow me to set the computer up. Oh, I didn't even get to say hi. Hi there, Claude. I hope you got your package. If you didn't, it's on its way. And let me see who's in here, because I have questions for a couple people. This one is Leanne Crawford's, and I just had to measure the weird envelope, and now I just got to make her label. If anybody sees David Canham, also known as my favorite canned ham, I need to speak with him on an address clarification. Doug Harding, I just need to put the postage label on yours. Patty Disharoon, the only thing I need to do with yours is I need to put a piece of cardboard in. I gotta cut or find a piece of cardboard to put in there, because you have that envelope with the coin, and I don't want that getting bent. So as soon as I get a cardboard in there, that'll be ready to go out. So that leaves, I have some in my hands that already have the postage. They're going in the morning. Oh, wait a minute. I did finish yours. So Patty, yours is going in the morning. Annette Essmans is going in the morning. She has 2 because I forgot to put something in one. Kevin Katowski has 1. And so that leaves me with the 2 that I mentioned. David Canham, just the guy I'm looking for. I got your package right here, and my email is so messed up. It is getting just bombarded with mails. I have 2 different addresses for you, David. Um, so I need you to email me again with the correct email, and that way I can put a label on yours tonight and it will go out in the morning. Doug, yours should go out in the morning. Leanne's will go out in the morning. I still have left and I know I have his address somewhere. I just didn't write it down. Dog Star Blazer. And of course, I'm not going to mail Sir Benji's because he's coming here. And then I have Annabelle, who is over in England, and I need to talk to her to see if I can send her, instead of going through all of the customs issues and everything, see if I can send her like Amazon credit or have Amazon send her a similar item. But hopefully by tomorrow morning, everybody's stuff will be out. Thank you, Kevin. And you know what that thank you's for. Kevin sent me a little postage money. He's a good boy. Yeah, he's a good boy. And I just heard a ding, and that's probably from David. Or not. I don't know. I'll look later. Just send me that because I have two different ones and I'm almost got everybody's mail, all the Christmas stuff ready to go out. So now I'm going through all these little plastic tubs and things. Like, I found a little envelope that probably had a quarter in it at one time that said it had a die clash under the nose, but whatever nose it was is not in the envelope, so we have no idea what happened to that. Let's see what is in here, because anything that I don't absolutely, I got a bazillion of these. I'm gonna put that one back in the wild. The other thing I'm gonna do tonight is roll up all the loose change and take it to the bank in the morning and cash it out. Thank you, David. Ooh, that's a 1947 nickel. I can see why I kept that. Have to check the album. I've got one little tube over here I'm putting miscellaneous. Okay, that's a Wheatie, that's a Wheatie, and that's a Wheatie. I have a little Wheatie container up here, but let's see what they are real quick. 51D. 44D. Yeah, I was on 3 hours earlier because I was working on this corner. And the funniest thing that was said, and I'm pretty sure it was William E. that said it, was that I was talking about finding all these things around and under my desk. And the comment was made that I should be watchful that Sir Benji is not caught metal detecting under my desk when he gets here. I thought that was pretty funny because I can picture it. That's a Bessie Coleman. I have a thing over here somewhere. I was putting the ladies in, and then I have another thing that's just quarters. These all actually are basically going back to the bank. But let's keep that one. That's a District of Columbia we're keeping. See, some of these things get set aside and then they never get put away. I think these might all be ladies. So we're going to put them in a separate jar. They're real easy to pick out because the obverse is different. George looks like that on the ladies, and he looks like that on the others. So it is pretty easy to separate the women's. And once I get where I'm going, I'm gonna get some more of those plastics that hold 5, so I can make a few sets, and then the rest will go back to the bank. So yeah, that's what those are, is that they don't need to be in such a big container. So that's another container I have emptied, which that's 4 today. Let's see what, oh yeah, that goes in there. So yeah, we're just kind of cleaning the thing. William, was it you that said that about Sir Benji metal detecting under my desk? Oh, that was so funny. And I'm trying to remember. I was pretty sure it was you. Okay, that can go in the go backs. Those go in there. That goes in there. I have found so many things with 82 pennies in it that need to be sorted. Just, they're everywhere. They have taken over my universe. And a lot of this stuff, there's just too much. And I need the money. I mean, I'm not going to throw back anything that I think has any real value to it. But don't let him walk in with a fines bag. Yeah, no kidding. Well, fortunately, most of the metal detecting stuff is already packed, except for some of my larger detecting tools that are down in my storage. Okay, this is a cigar box that is full of pennies, but they are sorted by date, so I can go through them. Like, these are 1960 large dates. Yeah, this is mostly pennies from 1960, from 59 forward, but there are also some little plastic bags in here, and they all have dates on them, of Wheaties. 36, 44, 53, 67, that goes over here. I will at least try to put them in order, and then I'll just put the whole cigar box in. 54D, 55. But at least then I will know where they are. 51. If I call off a number you want to see, I'll be happy to get it out. If there's only one, I'm keeping it. If there's more than one, you know, we can play around with them a little. Here's one that doesn't have a sticker on it, and that's part of the Lincoln Life series. Ooh, 1917. Unfortunately, I think the envelope is empty. Yep, that one's empty. I probably had a spot for it in my album, or it has fallen out. There's a 26. An empty bag for 1940s. 26. I mean, it's just crazy. At one point, I had this stuff all organized, but y'all know how that works out. Oh, boy, I got a lot of 1945s. Yeah, this stuff is mostly keeping pennies until I get a chance to actually sit down, and because what I want to do is compare them to what are in my albums, keep the best, and I can do something with the rest. But let's at least get them all in the box, because it just will make my life a lot easier. But yeah, that U-Haul call, really, I've been waiting all day for that call, and I was not going to miss it, because that is like a major part. I gotta have the truck or I can't do any of it. So, and I won't forget the guy's name, because there's a lady that has won the Patreon sponsor drawing a couple of times, named Susan Berman, who is a good friend of mine. Doesn't really have a lot to do with coins. When her dad was alive, she did, because he was collecting quarters and halves. But anyway, this big shot's got the same last name as her. They're not related, but he's got the same last name, which will make it much easier for me to remember the supervisor's name if I need to call and address an issue. And I have his direct extension, so I think we got that fire put out, thankfully. So like I said, getting rid of the car is like pretty much the final obstacle, other than loading and going. Okay, lots of Wheaties in here. I'm trying to make a space. Here's an envelope that says Wheaties, checked albums, need to check for errors, and then put them in the giveaway. So that's where a lot of these are probably going to go in. I don't need. And then I have like just envelopes that say miscellaneous Wheaties, or here's one that says looks like error above date. What is this? So I want to put that little container in, but not until I have gone through all these other loose pennies. And I've got one that I gotta get a good photo of and send it to be looked at, because it looks like the mint mark is a D over S or S over D. I can't remember. But that one's got to go to a real coin person, because I'm not a real coin person. I just play one on YouTube. What is that? It's in a box. Okay, that goes in the 60s container, not the Wheatie box. More Wheaties. And then what is this jar? I found a small, like a jam jar, a ball mason jar, mixed 2009 pennies, which I'm guessing is the Lincoln Life. Yep. Mislabeled as Lewis and Clark, which that's actually the nickel, special nickel series. See what this is. Okay, that's what this jar is. This is all Lincoln Life, but the jar is way too big to need to be in this box. So we shall see if we can find a smaller. Yeah, perfect. Let's see. I am gonna maybe give something away, and I just figured out how I'm gonna do it. So y'all hang tight while I get these Lincoln pennies into one container instead of 5 or 6 containers inside a mason jar. Then I can get the mason jar out of there. Another empty container. Trying to get things down to the minimum. And I just found my jeweler's loop I've been looking all over for. I'm going to take that out of there. And that was good. Yeah, I got a lot of wheat pennies. That does not want to go in there. Okay, that's going to have to go in a different box. Whee! What is that shiny little thing? These are just all kinds of things I'm finding. It's 83. Goes in there. Alright. What we got over here? Okay, we have the webcam that I have not been able to hook up because I didn't have any place to set it up. And here's some coin envelopes. There's a piece of trash from one of the Christmases where I had made the list of what number was going to be what prize. More empty plastic bags. A Velcro that I can use to hold my computer together. Yes, actually. They're on the Patreon question. It has no effect whatsoever on that. I just have to go in. I mean, it still goes to the same account and everything, so I don't even have to change that. I just have to change my address on the account, but the monies would still go in there regardless. So the answer to that is not being affected in any way. And your package is going out in the morning. I had to find my tape measure so that, because it's an odd size package, so that I could calculate the postage. So it's all hunky-dory now. It's measured, and I just have to print your label. And then I have this box here, which once I get settled, we're going to have some fun with the chemicals, testing gold and silver to see if any of these pieces, parts of jewelry are real, real precious metal. Because, oh boy, I just found a whole bag of nickels. And, I see a buffalo in there, so we're going to have to look at that. That's going to be our next thing. That's garbage. Ooh, there's the calibration sheet for one of the microscopes. Oh, there's my earbuds. I'm finding all kinds of things. It's kind of like metal detecting without the detector. Oh my goodness, this is too fun. I mean, it may not be fun for you guys, but it's fun for me going, oh, that's where that went. Wondered about that. Now, this doesn't belong over here at all. That actually goes to my pegboard system for my jewelry. There's a bag of mixed change. As soon as I get these change out of here, that's what we're going to be looking at for tonight. What is this? So, I think these are the rest of an uncirculated roll of pennies. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I don't want to touch them or anything because they'll pick up the oil from my hand, and I'm not wearing gloves. But yeah, those are uncirculated. So they're not worth much now, but might be worth something to somebody down the line. Box I'm putting penny rollers and plastic bags in. Okay, we're going to look at some coins here in just a minute. What is that? That looks like it might be silver. is. Can't blame it on M3. Look, there's a silver Rosie in there. 46. Oops, I see a buffalo down in here too. This might be a fun little box to go through. These are probably things I found during hunts that, because they're in a planter container, you know, like you would put flowers in. And I'm thinking one of my people that used to come and help clean my house, who knew don't mix things from the floor in with boxes on the desk. I'm thinking put them all in this bag as they were being swept up, which is cool because I see at least 1, 2, 3 buffaloes in this one bag, and the other bag I just pulled that silver dime out of. So, and then this little box right here, I believe, are metal detecting finds. Oh yeah, this was from the day I called the Tiny Tots. Everything I found was little bitty tiny things, and some of them are just like pieces of jewelry. So I'm gonna have to make them part of the adventure of testing. These were things that were found back at the end of March. I've shown them before, but I laugh about it because when I first got my simplex, everybody said, oh, it doesn't do well finding little things. Well, this particular day, I think the biggest thing I found was this earring, which I'm going to sit this dime on it. So that was the biggest item I found that whole day. So the person telling me it would not find the little things was very mistaken. I'm trying to do this. This is a little bitty earring with a star and a rainbow. I mean, it's tiny. Another little tiny charm. Part of a bracelet catch. See, these are the kind of things that are so small, you can't really tell if they're real or what. But look at this. This thing is tiny. If I can get it under the... It's a little tag that says BFF, best friends forever. I mean, these are like smaller than my smallest fingernail. And they're almost all that way. This one, I think I can see a marking on up here, so I've got to, but it's so corroded that I can't tell. But these are tiny, tiny things. And so I laid them all out on a... Yeah, Patty, I have found very, very small items. But that particular day, everything I found was small. Every single item was very small. And so I just could not resist laying those all out on a piece of cloth and taking a picture and sending it to the guy that told me that I would never find anything of any, anything small like that. And I find smalls all the time. Okay, I put my earbuds. I need to get a box over here to put all the things in I need to carry around and put in their rightful places. But yeah, I've never had an issue of not being able to find small items. I had a lady that comes to our building to do physical therapy with one of the gentlemen that lives here, and she lost a little tiny diamond stud earring, and she had no idea where she lost it. And so I went and asked the manager if it was okay if I took my detector and had her walk from her car to the building and back, and me take the detector and go along behind her and see if we could find her diamond. And they let me do it, and I mean, it was tiny. It was just a little bitty diamond chip stud type earring, and I found it. And so, yeah, I just thought it was funny, them telling me. And then I asked him, I said, well, do you own a simplex? And he's like, well, no. I'm like, well, then how do you know? Okay, which do you want to go through first? Mixed change or nickels? I'm going to let you pick, because I may only have time to do one. And both of the bags have about the same number of coins in them. I got to put this silver dime. Oh, I'll put it in here with my my Wheaties in one of these little bags. And then I will know, because this is going to be one of the projects when I get up there for sure. But see, I'm not taking this desk. I'm getting a different desk. I know how I want to organize everything, where it's not going to take a whole lot more space than it does here, but everything will work a whole lot better. Well, if you get tired of your simplex, Patty, mine's broken, so, you got that fancy legend now. Hint, hint. Nah, mine still works. It's just the screen is broken. And I can't afford what they wanted me to spend to mail it back. The repair itself isn't that bad, but the postage would eat me alive. Maybe after I get settled down a little better, get my eBay store a little more. It was going really good, and now the last 2 weeks I haven't sold anything. So don't know. Well, nobody told me what they wanted me to do, nickels or mixed change, so I'm going to go with the mixed change. And just see, I just grabbed a handful out. These are things that we found that just got laid aside and did not get put away and ended up on the floor or under the, under the edge of the computer, stuff like that. So this one is obvious why I kept it. This is the strangest shield penny in the history of the world. Somebody clearly intentionally altered this penny, and when I flip it, you'll understand, because this is the one people were saying it looks like a monkey if you turn it that way, or if you turn it this way. I thought it looked like a old Amish lady with the cap on. This over here being the cap. But yeah, somebody spent a lot of time altering that one, and I think I'm going to make a piece of jewelry out of that one because it's definitely an odd duck. Here's a Wheatie, 46. Oh, this is that Wheatie that we can't read the date on. You can read the reverse and tell that it is a Wheatie, but obviously this was a metal detecting find. It is chewed. 69S. I have an envelope for the S's. 2009D, which is a Lincoln Life series. I'm just putting these in with the cigar box ones. 71S. Yeah, that wheat was seriously toasted, and but you could tell it was a Wheatie. You just can't pick up a date. Oh, this is a 1970S nickel. I know I need to put that in my book. Another Lincoln Life. Oh, here's a Canadian. I'm going to get more into the Canadians when I get back to Michigan because they are much more prevalent up there. Being as it's right across the Wawa. 2005 D dime. Yeah, I spilled a whole bunch of dimes. Another Wheatie. Yeah, I haven't found my Canadian box yet. I have a box for that. And I know it's over here. This is probably going to be a S. No, 59D. So close, and yet so far. It's annoying. Band-Aids that don't stick. It's annoying. Yeah, that's one of the worst ones I have, though, where it's just and it's odd because one side you can read and the other you can't, so it's just a matter of, I don't remember where I dug it. Yeah, see this one is so toasted, there's no date. Looks like somebody might bring the date up with acid, but it didn't. And, you know, everything is pretty much worn off the back of this buffalo, too. Yeah, he's pretty bad. And I think that's from a dig as well. You can usually tell if they've been in the ground. I don't know what. Oh, just because it was toned oddly, I guess. I don't know why that's there. $64. I have a whole container of 60s. Don't know why that is here. Don't know why that is here. I'm going through these pretty fast because I see some that I'm more interested in looking at. 53D. That one's my birth year. In case y'all wondered, I'm old. I tell people I'm older than the dirt I detect in. Another Canadian. Gotta find my Canada box. It's over here somewhere. What is this? Oh, I know where that item is. And an empty penny box. Oh, yeah. These are all the decks of cards that I bought because I'm making up some new games. Everybody seems to like cats and dogs, so I have some other games we're gonna create with some other cards. I know a good place for these cards. They can go in the penny box. Hey, Mike. I'm getting ready to move. Finally. To all the naysayers that said I wasn't really sick and I was never really going to move and yada yada. Well, you know what, naysayers? If you had been a little more helpful, I would have been moved already. And by helpful, I just mean, like, I'm not talking about donating money or anything like that. I just mean stop telling lies, and just, if you didn't want to contribute, you didn't need to badmouth, I guess is the term I'm looking for. Okay, this is a phone that belonged to my friend Tommy that I just need to go on there and wipe his info, even though he is deceased. I don't really know what is on there. And so I'm gonna go on there. I've got a whole box of them. They have a machine over at Walmart that they say they will buy phones from you, but really most of the time they don't give you any money, but at least they're getting recycled. So that's better than having it lying around somewhere with someone's personal info on it. So I just want to go and wipe. Oh my gosh. More pennies in bags. But these are sorted and stuffed by year, so they can go in the cigar box. Oh, this is one of my favorites. We were talking about how crappy zinc pennies were one night, and I pulled this out of a penny roll. Sticker on it that says made in Hong Kong. Just about right, too. Yeah, we got a good laugh out of that. There's my Benji. All right, Mr. Benji, let me update you, since we got updated in the middle of this. Well, actually, at the beginning of this stream. Got a call from U-Haul. Ooh, that rhymes. And I got my other 2 missing days back, and since they made me take the bigger truck, they adjusted the price. They did not charge me extra. They also informed the young man over at the U-Haul that according to the Americans with Disabilities Act, he does have to hook up the tow dolly and put the van on there. So he probably doesn't like me very much, but we don't have to do that either. Once the truck is loaded, we take it over there and he does it. And so they gave me my 2 days back, so we have 6 days with the truck instead of 4. So all in all, the truck is lined up. The only thing, when we go back to put the dolly on, they will have to get your driver's license info as a driver. Yeah, so we'll both be listed as drivers. So that's the update with that, is that I finally got them under control, and I'm gonna go over there the day before I pick the truck up, because I'm gonna pick the truck up. I'm not sure when you're gonna get here, but I'm picking the truck up on the 28th at like 10:30 in the morning, and I'm going straight over to the storage because I want to load the stuff from the storage first. Oh, and I have my storage reserved too, which is a mile and a quarter away from where I'm moving, and it is a secured storage with the fence and the key and code, 24-hour access. And I got the first month for $1. So I've been busy getting everything organized. But you, my dear Mr. Benji, when I was on earlier today, what we're doing tonight is cleaning up all the stuff that's around my desk, and picked up things off the floor and trying to sort that out so I can take any unnecessary change back to the bank. Well, I'm not gonna rat out the person that said it, but we were talking about all the weird things that might be under my desk, and it was suggested that I might want to keep an eye on you because you might want to metal detect under my desk. And it was the best laugh I had all day. The idea of you metal detecting under my desk cracked me up. Too freaking funny. Oh, I told him I'd even provide the pinpointer. All right. Somehow, and I am not sure how. Well, yeah, I am. I know how this occurred. But I have multiple coin scales. And this one I like better. This is the one that Archaeology Mikey got me, and it's got a real nice case. And it's got the counterweight for making sure that it's balanced correctly. And it recharges with a USB, so I'm keeping that one. But then I have this other one that I used it a couple of times, but that is going to go in the giveaway box because I really do not need two of them. And in fact, I think there might even be a third one around here somewhere. But I see, that's the kind of things I'm finding. You know, and like I said, all these empty containers and just an incredible amount of things I do not. Some of them are things I don't need at all, and other ones are things I've been looking for months and months and months. So, and we still have zero. You can, Patty, but it really doesn't benefit you because truthfully, a cheap scale is not going to give you a real accurate reading. And when you're working with minute things like grams and like this one here has a precision weighting of 0.01 grams. And when you're trying to tell the difference between a penny that weighs 2.8 and a penny that weighs 3.1, a cheap scale is not, not really going to work for you. You really need I mean, these are not like super expensive, but you need one that you can calibrate down to like 0.01 grams. If you get a really cheap one, you might as well not even be wasting or using your time to weigh them. That's why I like this one that has the weight that comes with it and the calibration instructions. And what you do is you put this weight on the scale and it tells you what it's supposed to weigh in at. And if it does not weigh in at that, there's something wrong with your scale. But yeah, they're not super expensive. I think this one that has the weight and the little extra case with it was like $25. And the one I'm going to give away, I think, was about $15. And they're not super expensive. Okie dokie. I knew you were still going to go to Columbia. And I'm pretty sure I know who you're going to try to find. And I hope you do. And I wish I were going. If you find them and you get some free PR. Mention that you're coming to move me, and then I'll get some free PR too. Oh. But anyway, yeah, I've got 2 scales here now. And like I said, I think there may be a third one, which, what is this? Not just an empty jewelry box. There's a lot of stuff over here that I have taken 3 bags of garbage out today. But yeah, I recommend ordering one that you can calibrate and make sure that the weight on it is accurate, because the first one I had was not. And, you know, you're just wasting your time trying to weigh these things on a scale that is not really accurate. But like I said, they're not super expensive. The one costs a little more than the other one, but it has a nice metal case with it and the weight. And the reason, and it charges by USB, which was very handy. Hi, Detecting with Jim. It was very handy to have that USB charging function. I went to a huge flea market between Valdosta, Georgia, and the Florida state line. And there were a number of people out there selling coins, some of which I could look at and tell immediately were fake, and others not so much. Yep, I knew that's where you were heading, Sir Benji. Harry and Haley. That's why I said if you actually meet up with them, be sure and tell them what you're doing. Because that way you'll get a plug, I'll get a plug, and they've got like a bazillion subscribers. I was watching them today, and that's why I said I wish I was going, because I would really like to meet them. They just seem like such awesome people, and they're so smart about eBay. And oh my gosh, I would not eat this at this point. But the first year I did the 12 days of Christmas, I had been in a store they have here that has all kinds of old timey things in it, and one of the things they have is a huge selection of candy. And I found these in the candy aisle. This was kind of bent up, and I'm glad I didn't eat it. But I found these in their candy aisle, and this is probably better under the other camera. What they are, they're chocolates, but they are made to look like a JFK $50. Come on, camera. There it goes. But they're just round chocolates. And then there's the other side, says United States of America. And everybody that won a prize that year in the 12 Days of Christmas got a JFK chocolate in their packet. And I can't believe I actually have one of them down here. Extra stickers. Ooh. There's a couple of my little stickers. Wow. These are like 2 inches. Little bitty stickers. I sent somebody a whole bunch of stickers in a trade, and I don't know who it was, but they sent some of them back and said, man, you sent so many. Well, the reason was I was trying to move up to the bigger stickers, so I had just sent the rest of them. And so there's what I'm going to get new stickers. Ooh, I found a spray can coin sticker. So that could go over there. Some genealogy information. Somebody just mentioned Clark's Cove, and this is an envelope that my Cover for Life stickers came in. Oh, there's a sticker from the Detecting Smiths, who were real active for a long time, and then they were gone, and I just saw them online not too long ago. I just found a whole stash of stickers. Ravenhawk coins, Park Rat Pat, something Virginia Department of Health. Okay. Ooh, a real early Jeff Silversmith sticker. Another different Ravenhawk, 2 different Ravenhawks. There's no stickers in here, but it's a card from Handy Andy 73.6 that had some coins taped inside of it and has some of his artwork. So I'm going to put all these stickers in with that. Oops, wait, there's more stickers. I found a whole stash here. Another park rat, another park rat, another one of my little ones. Oh, Liz, the Digging Canuck. Another Ravenhawk. Couple of 41-cent Christmas stamps. I also collect stamps, in case y'all didn't know that. I haven't messed with them much lately, but it's one of my, when it's cold and nasty outside, I play with them sometimes. Oh, here's my Park Rat Pat bandana. I'm keeping that because that's historic. I won the very first Park Rat Pat drawing. And then I won a couple of things since, but he never got around to sending them to me, which was okay. It wasn't anything that was major. 3 pennies. Ooh, an LED battery powered light. Alrighty. I put that in the wrong place. What is this quarter? Nothing. spillage. Oh my goodness. I picked up a box and there's like a whole crap load of pennies down there. Oh my gosh. This is a sign right here. This is a sign. Most of you might not get this, but I think Benji will. I think Benji will understand why I'm saying this is a sign. Where I am moving and where Sir Benji lives, that's the county. That's my library card from when I lived in Michigan. I wonder if it's still any good. Ooh, a whole bunch more pennies. I mean, a whole bunch more. That's funny that I found my library card. That was funny. No, I am not eating the Kennedy. That's not gonna happen. That's like I have some chocolate in my refrigerator. I'm just keeping it. I'm not ever planning on eating it. It was a Christmas gift that I gave my friend Tommy. And it was these chocolate bars that in itself probably were not that great, but they are wrapped in foil. Oh yeah, I'm still finding stuff. Anyway, they're wrapped in foil that makes them look like a royal flush in poker. And he thought they were just like the coolest gift, but he wasn't going to eat them either. He saved them and he had them in his refrigerator. And so when he passed, I ended up taking them and I just keep them in my freezer. I know it sounds stupid, but I mean, he was so animated about that particular Christmas. He had not had a good Christmas for a long time, from what I gather. There's another dead phone for the machine at Walmart. I just gotta take the don't ask me, something I metal detected, I'm sure. All right, I think I got all the coins, but I still didn't find the Canada box. It's here somewhere. And then I found a box of assorted detected things, stuff like Chuck E. Cheese tokens, the Monterey, California Fisherman's Wharf token. Ooh, I don't know what that is or why that's in here. That some foreign thing. Part of a watch. A couple of rings that need to go in my ring tray. Yeah, this is just assorted bunch of rings. One of my favorite finds. This, somebody might know what that is. I know what it is. I knew what it was when I found it. And I was real excited about it. inside of a pocket watch that I found over in Sparta, North Carolina. That was pretty cool. Yeah, that was the earlier, maybe Sir Benji should metal detect under my desk. Yeah, that happened during the 3-hour thing I did earlier. My back was not allowing me to pack boxes, and I was doing packages to get them sent out, so I was doing the broadcasting and weighing things and doing shipping labels at the same time. So I was switching back and forth between pirate ship and the stream, which got a little crazy. But I ended up hanging out. There's the one I wanted to give away. The other jeweler's loop. We're going to have a giveaway. That's something small. I can mail it easy. And so we're gonna do that in just a minute. As soon as I pick up this thing I just knocked over that has a couple of chains and a couple of pins in it that I need to test. All right, a whole bunch of pennies. Now, here's what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be an easy giveaway. I've got this can here. By the way, did anybody figure out what that is? That is, it was flat when I found it, but it's actually a thumb pick or a finger pick for guitar, banjo, etc. And it's a really old one because I could read the info on it and looked it up, and it's from the 1930s. And the park I found it in is where they have an annual old-time music festival. So I'm pretty sure it was down there for a long time. Never did find the box with the Canadian. It might be up here. Oh, I think I see it. And that's my metal testing kit. I think this is Canada. I don't have a lot of Canada, but I have a little bit, and I have some that need to go in it. But yeah, I was real tickled when I found that thumb pick because I do play, and I knew immediately what it was, even though it was smushed. I just knew what it was. Yeah, there's my mostly Canadian. It also has this and a few Greek coins that I got when I lived in Flint. But this is a Philippines coin, U.S. occupied Philippines. I like those military ones like that. And there's some, I had a whole bunch of those Greek coins. I gave a lot of them away. Somebody might recognize that. And this is, I can't read it. I don't know what that is. I'm so blind. Yep, a flat guitar bag. Wasn't supposed to be flat, but it was way down too. I found that on a day when I really wasn't finding much of anything, and I was getting kind of not depressed, but I was losing hope that I was really going to find anything much that day. Yeah. $2. I want my $2. This is that Australian $2 coin that I found just outside a tot lot that had just been built, but I found that like 8 inches down, and it was covered in mud, and I thought it was a nickel until I got it home and cleaned the mud off of it. And that was one of my coolest finds of last year. So I was real happy with that. I had never found anything from Australia before. Well, that's an Aboriginal person. So, yeah, this box has some of my like Canadian and British and Australian, anything that's kind of related to Great Britain in one way or another. But I wanted to put my pennies in there, those Canadian ones. So I want to keep that library card. That was pretty funny. Okay, so here's how I'm going to give away this jeweler's loop. And this jeweler's loop is 9x magnification or 18 millimeters. And it is a handy thing to have out in the field. You can sit it on, you can magnify your finds with it. Also, good thing to have if you're going like to a flea market or a coin shop or someplace where you need, or you're trying to find a mark on a ring and you don't have a microscope. So here's what we're going to do. I have this container that I was throwing Wheaties in. So it's just got a bunch of random Wheaties in there. And I'm going to pull one out, and I'm going to put it just like that. I don't know if I showed the date on that one or not, so we're not going to use it. I'm not really sure of the answer to that question, William. Okay, so we're going to play our same old guess the date by looking at the back. And whoever is the closest without going over, the old Price is Right rules, will win that little gizmo, which, like I said, they're really handy to have. Now, that one of mine that was lost, I don't even know. I think it's a 10. It doesn't have a mark on it, but I do have one that I know for sure is a 10. I'm going to try this one out right here, since I just found a dime in this pile of change, and I don't want to move that coin while we're playing guessing games. So I want to see what this dime is. It's really tarnished, and I'm hoping to spot a date on it. That is so dirty I can't even tell. Okay, there's only 6 of you in here, so do. Let me get up here. 1 guess per person. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5. Well, now it says there's only 5 people in here, so I might as well flip her over. See who gets it. Oh, there we go. And it is 1952. There's a 47 so far. That's the closest one. Oh, 48. William E. William E. You is the winner. Woohoo! And I have not mailed yours yet. So I'm just going to put it in a different envelope with your other thing. Oh, I can't really do that though, because I think I already, no, I didn't put the postage on yours yet. So I can do that. I can just, oh, that's right. You gave yours away. That's went to Kevin, but I bet you don't want to give that away. You need a loop so you can look professional. No, I think if he wants to come down here and get some chicken, he can have a chicken dinner. But otherwise, he's just going to get the loop. I like giving those away because they're really handy, and they're not something that people normally would think of as a giveaway prize, but they really are a good thing to have because you can use them to try to find a mark on a ring that you found or to read the date on a coin. And this I like on this particular one. You can actually hook it onto a lanyard or something. So I like that you can hook it on something. And I actually, on mine, I wear it around my neck because it does deter people from trying to take advantage of me. And they look at me like, oh, little old lady, I can fool her, get her to buy this Morgan and it's not real. And then they kind of see this hanging around your neck and go, maybe not. This might not be the right person to try to pull a scam on, because this person is going to examine this coin. And I've had people at markets and shops comment on, bet not too much gets by you. And somebody asked me, have I ever been fooled? And my answer to that is almost. And instead, the guy wasn't even there. It was in one of the local consignment, antique kind of stores. All right, Patty, your package should be going out tomorrow, honey. Anyway, this guy had a bunch of barbers and different things in a glass case with price tags. And the person in charge of the market, they don't really know anything about the stuff in the booth. They're just there to collect the money. And I was looking at these barbers and different things that this guy had in there. And something just didn't look right. I'm not even sure now what it was, but at the time I remember thinking, some of them obviously looked real. And what he had done with this display was he had real ones mixed in with fake ones. And they just didn't look right. So I asked the guy that was there if he had the keys to that I was interested in perhaps purchasing one of the coins. And so, oddly enough, the guy that runs the place, his business is selling old vinyl records. So I have a pretty good rapport with him. And I was actually there to be in his shop. Well, he did have the key so that he could sell items for the guy. And I did my different assortment of tests and realized that there were 2 or 3 in there that were fake. And they were pretty obvious fake. And so I asked him, can you tell me when that guy is here? Because I want to talk to him before I make the purchase. I'm not quite ready to buy yet. And the whole time I had my GoPro on. So I had recorded some of the tests. And there's a local policeman that I'm pretty friendly with. And I just basically called him and said, look, I think this guy's selling some fake stuff. And I showed it to the cops, and next time I went in there, the booth was gone. So I think I got real close to getting ripped off, but instead I kept some other people from getting ripped off because I don't like thieves. Thieves really are like a real pet peeve of mine because I grew up really poor, and my family would work so hard for everything that we had, and then somebody come along and steal it. 2 things I really don't like are people that lie and people that steal. Because if, everybody else goes out and earns what they need, why can't you? Why do you think it's okay to take somebody else's stuff? So, and it really bothers me in the coin community because people can be so easily deceived. And that's one of the reasons that I don't do like silver stacking and that kind of stuff, because I'll tell you, I'm not smart enough to not get ripped off sometimes. So in order for that not to happen, if I see somebody blatantly doing it, and this guy was blatant, he had this thing arranged. It was so obvious because what he had done was he had them in date order, kind of overlapping each other a little bit. So people were being deceived, and that particular shop is where a lot of tourists go. So that doesn't look good for this town. Not that this is the greatest town, but that just doesn't look good for that shop. And I like the people that run the place. And I didn't want to see them getting ripped off. More Wheaties. I'm going to do a few more of these pennies. And then I'm going to go finish my packages. But yeah, I don't like people that steal, and I don't like people that intentionally lie to cause harm to other people. I mean, you can misunderstand something and accidentally spread a rumor or a lie, but people that do it deliberately, that's not a good thing. What is this nickel here? 63. Okay, I have a little tube over here. I've been putting some few nickels in. Yeah, because I'm in the morning while I'm having my coffee, I'm going to roll up as much of this as I can and take it to the bank before I go to the doctor, because we need all the monies we can get. And of course, that person that was so gung-ho about the car, this is the second one now. As soon as it actually got down to brass tacks, as when can he come look at it, because it needs to go, all of a sudden ghosted. So I'm going to go to the next person on the list, and if the same thing happens, I'm going to call the scrap guy. Even though he did not offer me as much money, I know he will show up, and the car has to go. So I'm not playing anymore. I don't have the time or the luxury. Oh, here's one of my favorites. Remember when we had the contest of how many pennies are in here? And it was like, I jokingly referred to that one as a half cent. That was something I dug. There's a new buffalo. Lincoln Life. Wheatie. Nice looking 62. And one more. And these can go back to the bank. Once in a while, I throw stuff back in the bank on purpose. Well, see, I was a flea market vendor for a long, long time. That was how my husband and I made a living for several years. And I was doing it before I ever met him. So I kind of got where I knew most of the tricks. People would get they knew very quickly, don't go to that booth if you're trying to pass counterfeit money, because I had different ways of testing the money. There's a 36D Buffalo. Sorry, he's in plastic. And here's a 2004 Westward Journey Lewis and Clark. And here's an assorted handful of buffaloes. Don't really know what I've got here. 1930. I think these are all 1930s era. 37. Yeah, I'm just looking at these buffaloes real quick, and then 37. Yeah, I kind of remember what this envelope was. 36. Oh yeah, you can buy those on Amazon too, by the box full. Yeah, me too, Leanne, because I used to have a whole bunch of coins. And there's a 29. Think about this. This nickel could have been in somebody's pocket the day that the stock market crashed, and might have been somebody's last nickel because they couldn't get their money out of the bank. Now, unfortunately, what happened to most of my coins was I kept a pretty good collection, and I was living with my longtime on again, off again boyfriend, and unbeknownst to me, while I was off at college working 2 jobs and dragging my butt in late at night, and I was paying the taxes on the house and doing all that good stuff, one of his childhood friends, who was a heroin addict, discovered my coin collection and took it and spent it at face value because she was too stupid or just didn't care because she needed a fix. But she took my coin collection and bought drugs with it. And later on, when he passed away, largely due to her getting him hooked on drugs, and so then she'd have somebody to party with while I was off making money. They had a big jar sitting on the bar at this tavern down at the end of the street from where he had grown up, and they were collecting money to buy him a marker for his grave. And she and one of her other druggy friends, this is how low life this gal was, and everybody thought she was so wonderful, stole the money for a dead man's tombstone. How disgusting do you have to be to do something like that? to steal the money for a dead person's tombstone. And not just any dead person, but someone she had known since kindergarten. So anyway, she got my collection and spent it. And I had some really good coins because I had worked in a grocery store. And toward, I mean, it was in the 60s, so there was still a lot of silver coins floating around and Indian head pennies and that kind of thing. And my boss would always let me buy them out of my drawer. So I had some really cool coins. And I thought she got everything. Well, I do not know to this day how this occurred. Because after I graduated from high school, I moved away and my parents bought a different house. I had never lived in that house until I went there to take care of my mom. And after my mom passed, I was packing up all her things. And I'm in the bathroom packing up the linen closet. And in the back of the linen closet, under a pile of fancy towels, if somebody gave mom towels and they were real nice, she wouldn't use them because they were too fancy. Well, under the pile of fancy towels were my 3 penny albums. My original penny albums that I started when I was like 14. How they got into that house and where I found them, I have no clue. Because I never lived in that house. They must have got left behind somehow when I moved away. And Mom just stashed them. So I got my pennies back. And I still have my pennies. But all the rest of my collection is gone. And I had to start over. And I really didn't start over until my friend Tommy died. And when I was cleaning up his stuff, I mean, his family bailed. They didn't do anything. So when I was cleaning up his stuff, I found a metal cash box. And turned out Tommy had a little collection going. So I rescued what I could. He had this one of those great big giant water bottles that goes on the water dispenser machines, and it was 2/3 of the way full of pennies. I couldn't pick it up. I couldn't move it. So I had to leave that, but I did get the ones that were in the box. Well, we got rid of a bunch of stuff. I emptied a whole bunch of containers. And sorted out a bunch of things and gave something away. And so on that note, I'm going to go get a beverage, take my pills, and try to roll some of these coins. And then in the morning, I will try to get the postage on the rest of these packages. And I did find a few things to go in the giveaway box. So that was good. So I'll have something to start with when I resume doing my shows from Michigan, which, as I get into this thing, hi Northern, as I get into this thing in Michigan, it may take a couple of weeks for me to get everything set back up, because the first things I'm going to have to do are go get a different driver's license and get my health insurance moved over there. So I may just be popping in and out for the first month. And I'm kind of thinking we're going to have a big shebang on the closest date. Where's my mouse? I want to look at the calendar. Okay. January, February. Okay. I was going to say March 3rd, but that's a Sunday. So probably March the 4th. We're going to have a big wingding. My birthday is the 3rd. And hopefully after a month, I will have most of the things in place that I need to do, and I'll have time to. Oh, no, that's cool. I clicked on a button by mistake, and it took me to my Facebook memories, and it's kind of neat because it took me to a photo that I posted on January 22nd, 2016. And I don't know if I can show this or not, but my friend Q, back in, I think it was 2007, his house burned down and he lost everything. And we were out on the farm pulling weeds and just feeding the critters. And we were by the chicken coop / old shed, and found a cassette still in the wrapping, where he had done a cover. It was just a single. It was something to give out at concerts. It was a giveaway thing, promo deal. But he had done a recording of the Rolling Stones song, Time Is On My Side. And all of the ones that he had left had burned up in the fire. And yet we found this out by the chicken shed, still in the shrink wrap. And this was in 2014. The house burned down in, I think, January of 2007. And I found this out in the field. And I have it. I asked him if he wanted it, and he said, no, that's okay. And I have this one, and then I have one of the ones that is just burnt up, melted. But the fact that we actually found one that was still, it'd been laying out there ever since the fire. And it's kind of one of my prized possessions. Well, no, they were just, things got scattered after the fire was finally put out, and they had to go through everything because his gold records got destroyed, and his dogs got killed, and his cockatiel got killed, and the house was burned to the ground. The fire department just sat there and watched it burn because they didn't like this rock and roller living in their midst. So we don't know that. As far as we know, these were stored in a box upstairs in the house, and we don't know a lot of things that blew up. So it could have just, something that blew up in the house sent it flying through the air, and it ended up out in the cow pasture behind the chicken coop, because he lives on a farm. And it was just so awesome to find an intact copy. No, I don't mind the unpacking. I hate the packing. Because I don't ever have anywhere to put things. That's my problem right now. I have a friend that's going to come over Wednesday and help me move things around because I just don't have any place to put things. And so anyway, I just thought that was cool. I accidentally clicked a button and that popped up. And that's one of the things that has got me very excited about going back to Michigan, is that I do get to go back and work with the band again. And music is therapy for me. If I'm working on the music stuff, I am not focused on pain or things like that. Well, I've got a really weird way of packing, but it's very organized and very efficient. And because I have things on this trip that are going to 2 different locations, the stuff that is at the storage goes in the truck first, because we're going to do the apartment first. We have to, because we have M3 the cat. So I will be loading in with the storage things, and then the other stuff will be closest to being offloaded first. And even though this is not the way most people would do it, the last thing that goes in the truck for me, so that it's the first thing that comes out, is my bed. And that is so if I am so tired when I get to where I'm going, I can at least get my bed out and set it up and get some rest, and then start on the rest of it after the fact. And it gives people a place to sit down. Well, this fire department, William, I guarantee, was not throwing stuff out of the house if they could knock down the fire, because they made 0 effort to put this fire out. There were witnesses that lived on that same street who absolutely said that the fire department did nothing. They did. This is a kind of the surrounding area is kind of upscale, and they really didn't like this farm with this hippie rock and roll musician guy and his friends living on it. So they were making 0 effort to knock down that fire. They wanted that house to burn to the ground. The only thing they were unhappy about was that everybody got out. it was a big scandal because there were witnesses that absolutely, they never even made an effort to turn the power off to the buildings or anything. No, they did virtually nothing. And let me see if I can find it. Let me go to YouTube, because there's a video that was shot after the fire. And Q is kind of a comedic character, and so there's a couple of videos, and one of them he is kind of making a joke because it was how he could deal with it. That was a parody of Gone with the Wind. That's funny. I put his name in. First thing that came up was house fire. Question marks, house fire. Because I'm going to try the link to, oh, and it's the dead of winter too. I'm going to post this link. So it's him, what was left of his house. Nothing. In the dead of winter. It's about 3.5 minutes long. There's pictures of him with his gold record with the band back in the 60s. But it shows, yeah, it was just like so sad. But yeah, see, there's nothing left of the house. But anyway, on that note, I don't want to watch it because it'll make me cry. It makes me cry because the dogs got killed, and that at that point the dogs were his source of income. He bred Yorkies and sold the puppies. So they were one of his primary sources, and he lost all his dogs and his bird, and he's damn lucky he got out because his hair was actually on fire. Hi, Bart. I was just getting ready to wind this up. So anyway, when y'all get your packages, if you would, if you're able to make like a 30-second short video or something, and just mention, like doing a little mail call thing, because that also gets word out about the channel and gets people to come and watch and maybe win things. So anyway, I'm gonna go. I got like a bazillion things to do, and nobody here right now to help me do them. So on that note, I'm tired. I need to take my meds. I'm going to try to do a show Wednesday night, but I can't promise that. Depends on how much my friend and I get accomplished on Wednesday when she comes over. So, hi, Bart. Bye, Bart. Bye, everybody that hung out to the end. And those of you who came and watched later. Like I said, it was a no-do show, but we did actually find some money, and found that silver dime and some buffaloes, and so it's all good. I'll catch up with you in a day or two. Good night, everybody.